Excellent. Excellent. That suggests I might have gone live. That's always a good starting point. Have we got everything? Oh, I think we possibly do. That's a major miracle, isn't it? Let me just find some bits of here. Excellent. Come into there. Excellent. That suggests I'm good. That's just told me that I can hear what is going on. So, no idea how many people will or won't watch this morning, but that's just fine. We'll just give it a few minutes to see who comes on. I don't want to be completely Billy No Mates this morning, but you know, there we are. Let's just do some bits, pop some bits into there. Cool. Hello, Iona. Hello, Connie. Welcome, welcome. Right, eeny meeny, have I got everything? Oh, I have. Oh, let's just get rid of that sticky label, because we don't need that on there. There we are. Just bear with, I'm just going to lift my camera up a little bit. I think it might give you a better view. Maybe not. Well, we'll figure that in a minute, ladies. You definitely don't need to see what's going on the floor. Hopefully. There we are. Oh, that's better. De-stick it. That. Excellent. Oh yes, that works. That works. Possibly. Not quite seeing the top of that, but hey ho. Right. Let's just pop that on the floor, because that's always good. Good morning, Gillian. Hi, Sophie. Welcome, welcome. Right. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So, I've not got a complicated make today. All the work is going to be done with an IOD transfer. It could be a Prima transfer, you name it. It could be, lots of different things. It could be a piece of rice paper, but the transfer will make life a little quicker, I'm rather hoping. So let me just grab a brush. So we're just gonna. So how is everyone this morning? I trust that you're well. So this is just a wooden board, and I'm just going to give it a little coat with the primer to seal it, because otherwise it'll absorb too much. And yeah, we're going to have some mixed media projects. Good morning, Sophie. Hi, Sarah John. I trust that you are well. I'll not worry about the back of that and getting stuff on it. We can always tidy that up at another stage, because my pieces are never going to be finished until all of everything is covered. But you don't need to see me painting the back. There are definitely things that you can use your imagination with, because it'll just get a coat of black or gold paint, or black and gold paint. The reason for those colours will become apparent further on in the live. Merry Christmas, Jan. Good morning. So are you working the whole of the day, Sarah John, or are you just going to be working for a little bit of the day? Or are you carrying on till 6 o'clock this evening? There we are. See, brush hairs. That's what happens when you abuse your brushes. So I just thought that Christmas Eve can be a bit of a down day. I know some people will have things planned, other people will be waiting for people to arrive, some people might even be stuck in a kitchen chopping and preparing vegetables so that they're ready for tomorrow. Life for me is too short to do that. There's not space to do it. So So I just thought it might be a good idea for those people who are going to be stuck at home, maybe a bit bored, maybe missing something, might just like to, you know, to have something to entertain them. And I'm surrounded by family who are generally good, and I recognise that I'm fortunate and that that's not the case for everyone. And with that being said, I possibly didn't think today through very well, because I'm having to I got home from the shops yesterday thinking I had lots of bread already in the house, but knowing that the hubby was going to need to go and get a French stick this morning anyway, and to discover that the big packet of white bread that was sitting on the side had been sitting on the side rather too long and had required a little bit of a furry goat of the blue variety, so it went in the bin. And then I discovered the teenage children had eaten the supply of toasted tea cakes. And then my daughter decided that she'd finished the last of the crumpets this morning. So my lovely husband, bless his cotton socks, is going to be going when he takes my son down to work. Is bright yellow wool. Are you deliberately painting something with bright yellow? Sewing with bright yellow. I've got a blue, white, cream variegated wool sitting on my side. Let's just shuffle those down there on the floor. That can have a bit of a dry. So these are from an old IOD mould. There's lots of holly moulds on the market. So anyway, this is about enjoying ourselves, not necessarily having some company, not necessarily more than that. So let's just give these a coat of black gesso, because I'm going to get the metallics out, because why wouldn't I? And they definitely work better on, well, to my mind, work better on a black background. There we are. And I still have to decide what I'm going to make tomorrow morning. But I'm sure it'll all come together. I might have a hunt and see what else I haven't used that I've got of. It's a good reason for getting out stuff you haven't used, isn't it? And just having a play. There we are. So what is everyone having for Christmas dinner tomorrow? If you're on your own, is it a dingy meal? Or are you going to cook something simple but special? I know what we're having. I've got 2 large ducks sitting on the side defrosting. Hi Marisol, welcome my darling. How is beautiful Andorra? I'm going to sit myself down. Why not? Because I can. What am I sitting on that doesn't feel very comfortable? Good morning, Crafty Jacks. Who else has joined us? Good morning, Sue. Would you like to tag the lovely Sue, Liz Wheeler in? She seems to be fast asleep this morning. There we are. And I know Sarah Marchant had possibly was watching, but I also get that people might be out doing their shopping today. But the live will be there for people when they want it. Personally, I think anyone really, apart from my poor loving husband, that of course I'm sending out to do the shops, anyone else going out this morning must want their heads examining. I think it will be mental. The Facebook feeds suggest that a lot of shops were busy at 7 o'clock this morning. I did most of mine last week, just added some extra bits yesterday. Peking duck, Jill. No, definitely not Peking duck. Roasted duck it will be. though I do know someone who is Chinese, who will probably almost certainly be having a Chinese style duck. But hey ho, there we are. Dee. You're having a long lie-in. Sensible plan. But not. Did you get any sleep last night? Good morning, Jill. Welcome. Well, my loving daughter. For those that you don't know, Jill Murgatroyd is the mother of my daughter's boyfriend, aka, well, partner in crime. They've been together a good many years now, and she knows what my daughter's like. So my Jenny has managed to make French onion soup this morning with a lot of frustration, because surprisingly cutting a kilo of onions after she's done her beautiful makeup for work with lots of snowflakes and blue on her face, she looked gorgeous. I wasn't allowed to photo, but having said that, I didn't push me luck this morning. She wasn't impressed when she was cutting onions, and her eyes were sore and stingy, and she was thinking it was going to destroy her makeup. So I didn't think taking a picture was was going to be helpful. But we have got French onion soup for lunch tomorrow, and dinner will be in the evening, because that is our preference, as it stops us picking at all sorts of stuff. Not that I don't have more cheese in the house than I could shake a stick at, because I do. There we are. Let's just get these all covered. There we are. So I think this piece is possibly more winter rather than necessarily Christmas, but who knows, it could work for either, and that's the joy, isn't it? It's how you see it. Let's just get into those nooks and the crannies. She absolutely does. She's got beautiful, she almost never uses blue. She's definitely verges more to the gothic and the dark, but she's got blue eyeshadow on today, and then she's got a blue shimmery base across her cheeks and her nose, and then she yesterday evening she says, "Mum," and you go, you know when your child goes "Mum," that they're after something, don't you? It's just is. "Have you got?" And then she went, "Have you got some nice fine?" Because she'd already asked me if we had any snowflake stencils, and the answer, of course, is yeah, I do have snowflake stencils, but none of them were really the right size for her to use on her face. So this morning she must have been up at the crack of silly o'clock, because she came downstairs having hand painted with the borrowed ultra fine brushes of mine that she was wanting, with the "Have you got?" masses of little white snowflakes on her face, and she looks very, very, very pretty. So she's going into work looking, or she will be, she'll be setting off, she's probably set off by now actually. She needs to be there for 12. My son is going into work at a relief manager's shift for Games Workshop this morning, and then he's going to come home to cook steak for us for tea tonight, because he cooks steak better than the rest of us, so that's cool, isn't it? And I'm a great believer adult children living at home should be put to work, and he enjoys cooking, so that's cool. There we are. I've got two. Well, the reason for my cheese fest is that we went to a get together last weekend, and I took a cheese board, but my house, because I'd have just left it all there, because that's what you do, isn't it, if you take a cheese board, asked that I take what was left home with me, because she said it's just going to sit in the fridge. We just don't eat it. You know, we might eat some cheddar, but we don't eat the, you know, we won't eat everything else. So I have a cheese fest that I now need to work my way through, and I can't eat vast quantities of cheese because I'll get a migraine or indigestion or horror of horrors, both, none of which is very, very attractive or very helpful. Oh, we managed to miss that bit over there. There we are. And there we are. So it'll probably take me a good while. Needless to say, I didn't have to buy any more because I've got a half a hundredweight of it in the fridge. Well, you just have to have cheese, don't you? You just have to have cheese. Blue or pongy, or blue and pongy, or runny. Right. Well, that's a good look, isn't it? Not with mucky ucky sticky fingers. Let me just pop that in that big pot of water. Let me find something, because if I don't get rid of all of that black, I can see that I will then end up with black where I don't want it, and a little bit of black really does get everywhere. Hi Stephanie, welcome my darling. Good morning Helen. There we are. We've got a reasonable number of watching this morning, given the time of the day. I know several people will have gone out. Could someone just tag Sarah Marchant for me, because she's normally watching, and do feel free. My American friends won't be watching because an awful lot of them on the west coast over towards California. So it'll be like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, as it will be for my Canadian friends. But I just knew I needed to, you know, it was going to be early sooner. It needed to be earlier this morning. Maybe next year I'll do it in the afternoon. Who knows? Yeah, let's just give this up a lot a try. Your internet is tracking. It's interesting, it took me a bit to get on this morning. It's never quite guaranteed, and we've got reasonably good connectivity. Sometimes it's Basti Jack. Cheese, yeah, it just is. It's just got that feeling, hasn't it? Good morning, Alex. Welcome. There we are. Thank you for tagging Sarah for me. It's just that she just say she didn't do a heart earlier on. So she might well have decided to go out, and she often has her main meal out and about anyway. So it might just not be good time for her. Let's just get these dry enough at least to move. We will need to dry them a bit deeper, but so that's okay, we can do that. Can I see an area that I've missed here? Am I going to bother about it? No. Good morning, Julie. Welcome. Oh, we're ticking up quite nicely. Feel free to share wherever. Spread the love and joy. We're deliberately, I'm using my beloved Pantop products, but I've got some IOD and some Wise Owl. What's Wise Owl? It's a furniture paint brand. So, Julie, I'm taking it that it's now not too early for you for Christmas. Good morning, Margaret. Welcome, my darling. There we are. So I can see the paint is going matte, and then as I pull the heat gun away and it cools down, it comes back shiny again. So it's surface drying, and then I'm needing the wet underneath to come up. So that's fine. There we are. Good. That looks like I can shovel those. out of the way for the moment. Let's stick that up there, let's stick that up there, let's stick up there. Let's pop you over there. Let's just give this a little mess. Sorry, this might scrape a little bit. So, what cheese is everyone's favourite? Let's just get rid of this gubbins. Hopefully it's not too scratchy, because I'm aware that it might set people's teeth a little bit on edge if it is. Right. I know I like a good gorgonzola. A nicely matured cheddar, or even a manchego, depending on how the mood takes me. I do like a very good brie. And as for baked camembert, yum, yum, yum. Not good for the waistline, and definitely not something I will be munching after Christmas when I have decided I need to do a little bit of weight management. But that's okay. A combination of a cruise on a ship with everything catered for and lots of meals. It's not yummy, yummy. You don't like or eat cheese, that's fine. We all have things that we like, and we all have things that we don't like. Connie, what will you be eating for your Christmas dinner? And do you celebrate your Christmas tonight or Christmas Eve? Or do you celebrate it as we do on the 25th? Or do you do as some of the Americans do, celebrate it? Some of the Germans do, and celebrate it on the 8th of December. Let me know. Right. Hopefully that is dry. And you're going to wonder, you possibly think I've lost the plot. I promise you I haven't. Yeah, I'm quite capable of being told I've lost the plot. So that primed board is just about dry. That will work. That will work. Good morning, Robin. So, what timing is it for you, my darling? I hope not too early. So we're just going to add some of this earthy brown onto my board. There we are. Let me just pop it up there so you can see what's going on. It's a problem with cameras, isn't it? They're set up. Let's just pop that into there. There we are. So it's been acrylic, it's wooden board that I've added some acrylic primer to seal it, and it's not going to stay as a flat there. Of course it's not. It's me, isn't it? You know, I mean, why would it start as a flat there? But this is not a complicated make today. In fact, most of my makes are not that complicated. It's just about knowing the tricks to do. There we are. So has anyone got any thoughts about live tomorrow? We'll find something. I've got some leftover paper, so it could be a paper based one. It might be a paper based one. There we are. Right, that's the edges sorted out. So let's just carry on, and we'll add this in. Oh, geez, it always works. That's how I always do it. Yeah, that might be a subtle clue that perhaps something was changing in your body if you don't normally eat cheese, and then and you suddenly find that you're craving. That's a fairly good clue that the hormones are up to no good, isn't it? There we are. 6 a.m. Well, I guess 6 a.m.'s not so. I used to have to get up at 6 a.m. every day, yeah, always for work. So I guess that means that you are on East Coast US, like Rima might be. it's always difficult, isn't it? Typically I go live on a Sunday at 3 in the afternoon, because I think it's a slightly better time for my US and Canadian friends. But I know from past experience that's not a good time for me on a Christmas Eve. Though clearly having decided to send my husband out to get bread because I've been finding it with the furry goats. Today at 11 maybe might not have been the best idea either, but hey ho, there we are. So if anyone doesn't watch Robin's song, if you can find her page, she is a very talented US crafter who does very regular lives with lots of mixed media products. Well worth looking. You always learn from watching someone else, because we all have slightly different ideas and slightly different takes on things, so it's always good, I think, to see what's going on. Now I am very much aware that I have several of my friends, both virtual and face-to-face friends, who are going to be struggling this year. I've got one lovely friend who has recently lost her grandfather. His funeral will be, I think, today, so that will be a very sad time, although I think she'll celebrate his life well lived and the memories that she has. I've got another friend who shared with me that he's very sad because he's watching his father gradually age and slow down. His dad is in his 90s, so it's fair enough, but I think it's still great, it's still difficult for people watching that. And Robin, you can put your link in, my darling, that's not a problem, for your page, or for your, that's not a problem at all, my darling. I've got another crafty friend whose father is critically ill in hospital, and she's not so sure what's going to happen, and again he's got lots of health issues, so my heart goes out to her and her family, combined with that fact that her beautiful granddaughter has developed a lump on her face and might well be needing some treatment very soon to protect her eyesight, so that's all very, very stressful. And then another friend's brother managed to break his back 2 nights ago, and then the day before yesterday her mum had a stroke. Some people just do have all the bad luck in the world, don't they? So my heart goes out to anyone who is struggling for whatever reasons, because it's easy to forget that while some of us will be enjoying the season, others will be lost or lonely or grieving, or just don't celebrate, or have more important things to worry about in their lives. Good morning, Liz. Welcome. Are you all sorted? I think it is absolutely always much harder at this time of the year. Yeah, absolutely. Halfway through table. Wow. That is good. For those of you that don't know, Liz lives in a tiny cottage up at Heysham. It's beautiful. The view from as you go into her road is amazing of Morecambe Bay. But the house is not very big, and her craft room is her dining room. And the only, but it's always between her and her hubby Steve, because they're both fairly big hoarders of things, and you just have, we're crafters, we just have to have more, don't we? We see something, we like it, we can afford it, we buy it. Just because, and we'll use it at some point. Yeah, we're all the same. But So her table gets cleared once a year for Christmas dinner. It's the only time of the year it's ever clear. We talk about crafting on a 6-inch space. At hers it's more like a 4-inch space. Unless she's on a live when the camera makes it look much, much better with the chaos around it. And am I very much better? I'll just say that, but I know I'm not. But at least we will eat in the kitchen because because we don't have we do have roomers at the dining room, but it's set up as a snug for my husband. It used to be the kids' playroom. There we are. Have we got that dry? We might have got that dry. Goody, goody gumdrops. Right, let's get out. Now, no surprise as to what we might be thinking to get out. We've got some of the Pentart 1 component crackle. Let me just find a reasonable brush. That'll do. That will do. So this is the 1 component crackle. I'm going to be moderately careful. This is a beveled edge and I want a different colour on the beveled edge. Don't need a thick layer. There we are. Apart from anything else, it will take forever to dry. There we are. I can't do a make with me if it's not got a bit of crackle. It just wouldn't be right, would it? It just would not be right. There we are. Let's just turn that round to make life very easy. There we are. There we are. Now I'm sure that Lizzie's cats are not impressed. So we're taking a relatively relaxed approach to this make today. because it's principally for me, and I decided, as you know, I'm using stuff up that I have because, well, why shouldn't we? I am doing my best to use stuff up rather than necessarily having everything. Let's just spread that out a little bit. Right, so that is that. Wow. In my case, it's the floor. Because as Anthony Minnis would say, level 1 drying. We usually have level 2, level 3 and level 4 as well. Anywhere that I've got a space we'll have something for drying. Let's just clear these mucky messes. Right, and that can go down now on the floor. Meeny, meeny, miny, mo. Have we got all the pieces? Well, that's good, isn't it? Do we need some smaller brushes? Probably. There we are. We've got some smaller brushes. We know we've got some. Oh dear, that can go in the bin. That one's solid. Let's just have one of you. One of you. Let's use. Oh. She says, "What have I sat on?" Oh, ow, wow. Oh, yeah. Wow. Right. What have we got? We've got sparkling green. We've got golden touch, and we've got ivy green. So let's just have a little bit of messing about. Oops. Well, that wasn't clever, was it? We'll clean that up before we do much more with that. There we are. That's that one. It's not too hot in here. Probably started on the gin. I wish that I do have a large supply of gin. Right. Let's use some of this. So these are a holly. And we're just going to be very naughty. We're going to mix these in, mix all the colours up. There we are. So we don't have a single flat colour. The golden touch is maybe a bit bright, but by the time we mix in some of the ivy green and the other colours, then it's really not going to be. We can cover that. There we are. So we'll just take our time, poodle along this morning. Let's just take that thick layer off that. There we are. And then we can mix in. So this one has this is the ivy. Yeah, the ivy green as opposed to the sparkling green. There we are. Just mix them all up. And if you mix it while it's wet, it doesn't matter then that you've got lots of shades, because leaves are not all the same colour, are they? That is just part of life. They are definitely lots of different shades of. There we are. There we are. So I know it wouldn't be a piece of a make from me if it doesn't have a reasonable amount of moulds in it, would it? It just wouldn't be. But it doesn't have to take many hours for painting. We all know that I have the attention span of a gnat. I know that's probably being generous to the poor gnat as well, really. To be fair. And just plough our way through, completely chilled, because, well, life's too short, isn't it, really? You just never quite... You might find that it goes black in a minute because my computer has just done something funny. There we are. Okay, just bear patient if it does anything silly, because I've just seen it do something very strange and tell me the frame speed is too low, but as I haven't fiddled with anything, it'll be the computers that are misbehaving and the internet connections, but that's also okay. There we are. Now, a few years ago, Stephanie, if you'd given me, if you'd said to me I'd be sitting here painting masses of moulds, I'd have told you you'd lost the plot. But actually, I quite enjoy it now, and they just add such a different layer. I like my paper crafting, don't get me wrong. Definitely like my paper crafting. Let's just pick that one up. I don't know that you can see all the colours as well as I can, but and that's always an issue when you've got shiny paint. I think it's the shiny paints don't help matters when it comes to reflectivity. But these are all shades of green that we're using here, but we're mixing them up so we don't have every leaf exactly the same. We're adding some golden tones and some sparkling tones so that we've got a real mixture of colours. There we are. Anyway, let's just pick up that one. And there isn't actually any rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. It is just literally the colours that I can see, picking them up, mixing them together. There we are. And we'll add some red because we've got some nice berries. And I've got my Christmas fleece on and the fan heater to keep, you know, for drying purposes. And now, are we cooking? Yeah, we are cooking. Have I got my pyjamas on underneath? That'll be telling, but yeah. So we'll not be stripping off because really there are some things you don't need to see. There are definitely some things you don't need to see. There we are. And these are water-based acrylics, so they are permanent because of their acrylic base once they're dry. There we are. There's just lots of crannies or nooks and crannies in this mould. It's a very old one. It's a unicorn mould. It was a limited edition, but they're coming back onto the secondary market, and to be fair, they're silly prices, particularly if you look on a lot of the US sites. They really are silly prices. But I am conscious that a lot of the influencers or online crafters who've got shops, you know, will only be using the new stuff that they've got because that's clearly what they're wanting to sell, and why not if you've got a shop. But I am also aware that in our stash we may well have stuff, and it's quite useful to be able to pick up stuff and actually use what we have, rather than necessarily always buying new. And on the whole, the makes will always be slightly different. You're never going to recreate exactly what I've done. It's just not possible. So yeah, even if you had exactly the same pieces as me, I don't think you could actually replicate exactly what I've done, because we all work slightly differently. Let that dry a bit, and we're going to add a bit more of that paler green onto there. Wow, there we are. But yeah, she says pulling that right out of shot while she stretches and moves around. Yeah, it's just ooh. There we are. I'm rather liking this golden touch. But you can do very similar makes with, you know, just with products that look essentially the same. Yeah, just because I've got these for my greens, metallics, you know, use the metallics you have. It doesn't matter that you've got a different one. Use the colour palette that works for you. Yeah, buy if you need to, but don't overbuy, because you know, your products will dry out. It's just part of life. Once you've opened a pot and water gets to, you know, air can get in, no matter how well you think you've closed it, you know, you definitely will have stages where pots will dry out. So you don't need 12 greens and 35 reds. Yeah, a few will work. A red for the reds, an orange based and a blue based work well. They're two different tonal families, and that's when having a colour wheel and understanding your paints does make a difference. And then work out whether you prefer the warm tones or the cool tones with what you're doing, and then work from there. There we are. new jammies for my grandbabies, and the boxes are coming to open it with me later. We've always done, well, for many years we did new gym jams for Christmas Eve. I used to bath the kids Christmas Eve, let them open Christmas Eve boxes when they were wrapped in nice fluffy towels, and then they would go up to bed in their brand new gym jams. And if they didn't get dressed Christmas Day, we never go away Christmas. What child wants to be traipse around the country to grandparents on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day and disturbed from their toys that they've just opened? So we've always done it at home, and and actually if they don't bother getting dressed because they're playing with their toys, well, so be it. There we are. Right, that's the biggest piece. Well, I'm in daylight, so I don't see why that light shouldn't be as good as it is. The colours are dark, to be fair, they're light, and of course working on black doesn't help matters, but hey ho, I don't really want to put the lights on. There we are. So we're just going to get some natural colour variation in our leaves. I'm not going to add masses. There's quite a lot of depth just created by and detail just being created because of the thickness of the mould. And yeah, we've got a few bits to paint because why not? But it's serving a purpose because it's waiting for the next bits to dry before I can pop the next layer on. So there we are. And as I'm making this, I'm thinking I might change my mind, because that's a female woman's prerogative, isn't it, to change their mind. There we are. Because why not change your mind? Yeah, we'll use that what we can. Yeah, that looks quite pretty, even though she does say so herself. We'll get these dry and then we might. Yeah, the board is quite happily drying on the floor. It's not going to stay the brown colour that I painted it. There we are. Because why would it? Why would I want a black? There we are. There we are. So I'm not quite painting one holly leaf with one colour. It's vaguely starting out the way, but then I'm mixing them across with the wet paints so that the colours all merge together, and we don't then have, I can see a big area that I've managed to miss there, so let's just, there we are. We're getting there. Yeah. Because will these paints come out again this year? That might come out tomorrow, but they certainly won't get used for much else of the year. I really don't tend to work with the metallics. Perhaps I should work with them more, but who knows. There we are. She's probably just very, very busy sorting it out. She won't be able to do everything. There we are. But for her, she's on track. Red, yellow, blue, white and black. Yeah, the primary colours work well. And I do have multiple shades, and but you can, with those, if with a bit of time, just mix everything together for yourself from those primary colours. Though sometimes it is easier to have a pre-coloured set. Oh, she says, dropping the pieces, but see that the golden touch is just adding a little bit of extra detail into these pieces, adding a little bit of lightness in. There we are. Let's just do those bits. There. And of course you can dry brush with metallics just as much as you can anything else. There we are. Excellent. So let's just wiggle that into there. That can go on there. You're still here. Just cracking. Well, and so you should be. Let's just dispose of that. See, that's what's happened. That's just a thick layer from the inside of paint. And that's what will happen. Right. And if I just... didn't want to do that, did I? Right, let's just fish this piece out from here. So it's another layer of thick paint. And if I just now stick that straight onto there, all that's going to happen is I will gum that up. So just bear with whilst we thoroughly clean. She says, something foul, something I suspect I didn't need to fall. Okay, let's just give this a really good clean now, because if I, having got yuck in the lid, if I don't just clean this properly, then we're going to find ourselves with a pickle. And then I'll close the lid, and yeah, next time I want to use it, I've got no chance. Oh, right, excellent. So we all lose things, and the real problem of tidying up, Stephanie, is that stuff that we knew exactly where it was, you can guarantee next week when you come to find it, having tidied up, you won't be able to find, because you won't remembered where you put it, whereas you knew exactly where it was before the Christmas tidy up. Yeah, it's the same for all of us, isn't it? What I think. Let me just, I really do have mucky fingers, and they just need a good clean, because otherwise we can't see what we're doing. So here we are. I don't know about you, but my colour balance on here is not brilliant. There we are. Only a little sample, Sue? Or was it a generous sample? Right, let's just... Oh, she says, what's she sitting on? There we are. Let's just grab that. And give this a little bit of a dry. Because I need to really. There we are. I'm going to pick up the board in a minute. I know that the red hasn't been done yet on these berries, but I'm going to give the next piece a little bit of a blast so I can get the next layer on it. It's getting there, is the board. But let's just pop these out of harm's way. They can sit there. I'll come back to them. I will need that again in a minute. Oh, yes, that's what I'm sitting on. Roll of ribbon. No wonder it's not very comfortable. So, one acrylic painted wooden board. With so primed and painted dark brown. It's not going to start that way. So are you in the motorhome now? I know you said you decorated it. Or are you at home now and then going to... So I just need to dry this. Because why wouldn't I need it dry? Yeah, it's just part of crafting, isn't it? I don't want to burn this either. I think it's perfectly possible to burn your mediums. You just need to keep the heat moving. It's just, you can see where it's very shiny in the middle. There are a few more areas like that, but I just need to get a little bit drier before I can add the next layer onto it. And to be fair, the centre won't really matter, but because I'm going to be covering it, and what I'm covering it with is opaque. And am I taking a risk? Yeah, I certainly am, because I'm using a big rub-on infant, aka transfer. But lots of companies have brought out rub-ons, haven't they? So I think it's nice to have some different ways of using them, and then to know how to protect them if you are going to use them. There we are. Not quite into driftwood, but we're going to have a good go. I never bother making you look. We're not chocolate and cake people, and we're not fruit cakey people, so I don't have either of those in the house. I do have lots of biscuits. I do have a Black Forest inspired Christmas pudding, because two of us like Christmas pudding. And I have a raspberry trifle. No sherry, because we don't like the sherry. Right, so that is okay. It's dry, which is good. Now then, I am going to be putting this on here, and I have picked this colour. So I've looked at the background of my piece and I've gone and then picked the nearest colour. So this one is white coffee. Oh dear, oh dear, and this is exactly what happens when you put your lids on, mucky pops. Look. Let's just get rid of some of that gunk off there. There we are. No, not of that combination, Stephanie, I'm afraid. And I've also got beige. which is paler, because the background isn't a single colour. Right, let us just make a mess. Why not make a mess? Because, right, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I think that will fit in there. Yay! Let's just pop some of that onto that. Some of that on. Oh, that was more than was required, but hey ho. Didn't particularly want that on the side of there, so let me just. So I'm going to have to clean that up. But that's okay, we can do that. There we are. So we're going to dab this onto here. We'll clean the edges in a minute, and then we'll cover the inside, because most of the inside is not going to be uber visible. There we are. So I can. There we are. So if we disturb it a little bit, it's not going to matter hugely. As you know, this is my preferred method of adding on top of crackle. You get a finer crackle than if you don't, but you just need to be aware that you don't want to overwork, because you'll start to lift it up, particularly once it's started to crackle, which the edges I can see have. So that's why I prefer to use a dauber, because I can pounce this, whereas if I had a brush I would brush it and then whisper it. There we are. And once I've cleared down from here, I'm going to then sort out what I'm going to do. But we are going to be on Mrs. Use Up tomorrow. It's definitely going to be on Use Up. Might be paper craft based. We'll see what we've got. We've pretty much used up our gear up to Christmas. Excellent. Right. So that's given that. That's given that. Let's just lid that. Ooh, let's just not lid that until we've given it a good wipe. That is the white coffee lid. There we are. And I'll lift that up in there. I'm going to give it a blast and then we'll... Right. Excellent. Let's just tidy up that big splodge of paint. You could put it back in your pot if you wanted, but you know, sometimes life is too short, and today is one of those days. Yeah. We're going to do something different around the edges anyway. There we are. Okay. Hi Teresa, welcome my darling. There we are, there we are. Okay, let's just give this a goodly brush and then I'll lift it up, because I can see masses and masses of crackles on here, and I need this to be really thoroughly dry. It's the only rule of putting on a transfer. No deliveries will be made tomorrow. This is very true. Well, I'm sure there'll be a nicer local that's open that will do deliveries. There we are. So let's just give this a goodly dry. So you can Good morning, Natalie. Welcome, my darling. I trust that you're well. This definitely needs to be properly dry. Before adding transfer onto the top of it. I had a pack of transfers I bought last year that are actually quite difficult to find and sold out, but you know, there were this year's versions you could use. Or you could do this as a summer make with an alternative, you know, use techniques but with an entirely different set of imagery without any problems whatsoever. Yeah, no. So I think you can now see. So the areas where we've got big raffles, like here, you can see really well. There are much finer crackles. And it relates to how thick I have put that paint on around there. I've got an area of wet paint there that I just need to get dry properly, and another one there. And I'm aware you can see a colour change around, but because of the products I'm putting on the top, it's actually not going to matter. Right, I'm going to pop that down on the floor. Let's just grab these pieces back. There we are. And we have golden red and bourdon and a little brush. So let's just paint in some berries. This is when having a steady hand perhaps will matter. There we are. But a small brush will make life easier for you. There we are. Let's just add in some of that golden one so all of the berries are not entirely the same. There we are. Hey, I like it when a plan comes together. You can always touch up. I'm going to have to order some more of that bourdon. There's no question about it. We are getting low. Good morning, Lamia. How are you? I trust that all is well in your world. There we are. So we'll just carry on quite happily, adding some colour into these, mixing them up. There we are. Little bit of patience. Turn your piece around as I've done. I've got it held up. Would I be painting this much nearer to my face if I was on my own? Yeah, probably. But lift it up. It allows you to swing it around, and that means that you can then tackle things from different sizes and different angles. and just take a little bit of time. We might get out some gold shimmer glaze in a minute. Why not? Why not? She says. But this will need to be dried first, but that's okay. I'm not in a particular hurry. My hubby will have gone out. There we are. Excellent. And at some stage he'll come back in, having dropped my son off at work. And I made sure I had breakfast this morning, which is something I don't often bother with. There we are. So that's now looking lovely. Good morning, Anna. Welcome. There we are. There we are. So let's just take these. Let's just add in a little bit there where we've missed, or where we were holding it, we've taken a little bit off. There we are. Would say this could be being done with any holly mould that you happen to have. Bit of a move on. I've only been on an hour. Anyone would think I'd been on here for 6 hours. I've no intention of being on for 6 hours, ladies. I have no intention of being on for 6 hours. Life is too short. Even I have stuff to do. And yet I live in my craft room. I craft every single day. It's so good for my mental health. And for those of you who aren't aware, yes, I have had some significant mental health issues in the past. So I am very much aware of the need to do things to keep yourself active and to enjoy what you're doing. Yeah, 1 in 5 people in the UK at any one time will have a problem with their mental health. My doors are open. There we are. Excellent. Right, let's lid them with the correct lid. Think might not quite work quite like that, Stephanie. Might not quite work like that. Right, let's just shuffle those over there for the moment. Because did I decide I was going to make my life difficult? Yeah, of course I did. You know, why would I make my life easy? Because, you know, that'd be logical, wouldn't it? I want a nice gold border. It's gold. Oh well, that'll be 55 times more of that than I need. So this is metal powder. Could be any metallic pigment. It could be 13 arts acrylic medium. To be fair, this is pigment fix. It could just as easily be a gold paint. Yeah, it could just as easily be a gold paint. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly what I am using. The pigment fixer, once it's mixed up, has to be used because you cannot reconstitute it once it is dry. And I've got about 25 tons more than I want. If you want, you can make this into a thick paste by just not adding quite so much of the pigment paste, and yeah, and then pop it through a stencil. But there's masses in the pot, so you get a beautiful, beautiful shiny base. There we are. Let's just mix that all in. Have I got more than I want? Yeah. Can I do the back of the piece? Yeah. If I want to. There we are. Excellent. Good. You're out tomorrow. Enjoy. So there we are. Just with a steady-ish hand, and because that's a dark brown background, it is brown, not black, but it could just as easily be black. I'm only going to need one layer. Here. But this board has a bezel on it, so didn't quite want it to go onto the top of there, but hey ho, just patience is a virtue. And of course we all know it's not something I have lots of. Hey, hey, there we are. This is when you don't want to tip the whole thing up and spill it every which way. I'm travelling to who's travelling 200 miles to cook a roast? There we are. We'll travel safely. Brilliant. Brilliant. Road trips are good. Exploring the world that we live in is good. Do like it when a plan comes together. And that lot will be going in the bin, but hey ho, that is okay. Right, I think you need another bit of just a blast dry. Hey. Well, I'm very glad to be of service. I take it you are not the person driving. Well, I sincerely hope you're not the person driving. I've still got an area of the crackle over there that is a little bit thicker and it is stubbornly refusing to dry. It will dry. It will dry. Because talking to it helps, doesn't it? It really does. Right. Ooh, that. Yeah, okay. On the floor. Right, let's just grab these. They're still a bit tacky. If I try antiquing them while they're a bit tacky, we will probably pull off some of it. I might opt for the easy option or the lazy option. Possibly, maybe. Why not? We've got it there anyway, haven't we? So let us just grab that, some more of that antique paste. Right, let's get most of that off that brush. Hey. So I'm just using that. That's better. What a difference. Some of that pigment. There we are, but I could use that as yeah, I could be using that as a wax. We're opting for the easy. We've mixed way more than we needed of it, so why waste? Well, we will be wasting some of it. There we are. Excellent. So let's shove that in there. So, but that could just as easily be wax. Yeah, doesn't have to be the pigment fix. I want people to use what they've got, and if there's a substitute that they have, to use that rather than buying. And you're going to see me using quite a lot of older products. There are some new products coming from Penthouse at the end of January. Yeah, I'm a lucky girl, I have them, but they're definitely secret squirrel stuff at the moment, so I can't, apart from teas, I can't, but the rest of the bulk of that, apart from those, I will be using up my stuff next year rather than buying lots. Right, eeny, meeny, mo. Right. Now then, let's just hope this is going to behave. So this is an IOD transfer. And you've got one shot at getting it down, ladies, because it's sticky on the back. And then all we need to do, or so it goes, is rub. We're going to be there forever, aren't we, if we use that? So let's not use the little one. They all come with a stick of some description, but hey ho, we might just be there way too long if we use that. So let's just use a bigger one, at least to get the first part of it down. That this doesn't found, or it's described as a scraper tool. I'm not completely convinced it's going to have enough push. And the size of this is really why it didn't get used last year, because it's huge. Difficult. Try vintage blue, or I'll have to Google it, because the company that I used to get them for The IOD sisters are the IOD sisters, and they are what they are. They're incredible creatives, but they had a major fallout with Prima. I take it back. That the scraper tool from Prima has done its job beautifully, because yeah. Wow. Hee 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 hee. Who is a very happy bunny? Beautiful. But Prima ones will work just as well. There is I can't remember, because I don't very often buy IOD transfers, but I thought these were an interesting mix. Not quite Christmas, not that, but you could do this with Prima ones, slightly different colours, yeah, different colour ranges, different styles, but I just loved it. Now we've got that text, it's clearly on a page, it's on there, and I could put mouldings all the way around, but we're not going to. Now that is a lovely surface, it's nicely down, there's no wrinkles, no that. It needs protecting, and all I have here is some wax. You can't heat the transfers up, okay, but this is literally wax. This one actually is Wiesel. That might not be so easy to find over there, but THL, and just like Home in Korea is, will have an alternative, and it smells beautiful. But you just need a clear wax, and this is because the room is warm, and that will help seal that in and give it a protective surface, okay, without you needing to add. If I try adding water to it, it risks, you know, it's not going to help, and the water base won't necessarily seal onto the transferred surface. So this is just going to give me a protective layer without the need to heat gun it, because that will risk bubbling the surface. A little bit of a shine over the whole piece, and protecting out at the same time. Yeah, this is magic. It's just beautiful. So hunt around. You know, quite a lot of these older project papers will come up on destash sites with people getting rid, even if it's a part pack. That works, doesn't it? Did I put my gel medium out? Did I? Why would I not do that? Because I'm clearly a moron. There we are. Oh, oh. There we are. So, and it's, yeah, the added advantage is it smells. You could use any clear wax, to be fair. Even clear, transparent furniture will work for you. Hello, Katerina. Welcome, my darling. Welcome, welcome. Oh, there we are. So let's just add a nice layer. Doesn't need to be thick. There we are. I'm gonna let's just add a little bit more into there. Okay. Yeah. Hey, I like it when a plan comes together. Merry Christmas, Katerina. I trust all is well. Get that over there. There we are. can go up there as a little corner. That can go up there as a little corner. And then we can add, oh, she says, okay, okay. Yep, we're just going to add that can go onto there. Let's just get rid of that off the edges. Well, did I want that on there? Did he heck? But remember, we have the wax on there, so that will lift off really easily. So, there. Ooh, that's supposed to put that onto there. So, ladies, here is our King of the Woods. Thank you, my darling. It's very lovely, very nicely worn. That needs to just sit and dry. Okay, okay. There we are. So I have our beautiful King of the Woods. The gold just makes a huge difference, a huge difference. But it could have been wax. I only used the pigment fix because I already had it out. Yeah, there we are. So those just now need to sit and dry. This is all I'm intending doing. I could add some spatters, but remember I've put wax on there to seal it. And I really want my piece to be the focal. So there we are. Thank you. I think that's so it's not entirely symmetrical, and that's fine because that mould is not entirely symmetrical. So here is our piece from today. I'm going to clear down my crafty table. I will be then working out what I'm going to do tomorrow. I've got some Alchemy of Art Christmas papers, I think, that might have an outing to use up. But my plan is to be live with you at 11 tomorrow. So I hope you like this, and I hope that it shows that you don't need to be very complicated in your mates, because it's really not complicated, mate. I will wish you all a very Merry Christmas if I don't see you. Please stay safe. Thank you everyone for supporting my creative journey through the year, and I will see you fairly soon. Bye.